How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords. I hope you're having a good one because I am so excited to be back in what is arguably one of the most beautiful city builders that I have played in a very, very long time. This is it's just picturesque. It's that good. I absolutely adore it. I cannot get enough of just turning on the cinematic camera and just looking at views like this. Like I said in that first episode, this game goes hard on the graphics, and I, for one, appreciate it. I think it looks amazing. Now, at the moment, what I'm trying to do with my little settlement here in Lohendorf is get a whole bunch of food. We have a couple of hunting camps. We have one right here next to this set of wild animals, and we have a hunting camp right here next to this animal habitat as well. We have a granary across the street from the hunting camp with a woodcutter's lodge giving us some firewood. And fortunately, we are now starting to get a bit more of a regular supply of fuel. We have 10 months worth of fuel at the moment. We have 5 months worth of food at the moment. And so both of those stats need to be higher. Fortunately, as we go into spring, which is from March until May, we're going to be able to get some berries from the forager hut. There's some berries going to be growing out here, so that will add to our food. And again, that should work towards keeping people happy. But there are other options as well. There's farms, for example. And farms, I think, are going to be really important. And the reason I want to do all of this is simply so I can try and progress a little bit in the comforts and conveniences thing right here. We need to construct 3 level 2 burgage plots, and to do that, well, frankly, we need to get these guys more food options, we need to get them some clothing options, we need to get them some entertainment, we need to get them some faith. And so essentially, I need to build a few farms. So if I build a few farms, we can go to construction, we can go to farming right here. And so a field can produce crops, including wheat, flax, and barley. Wheat can be turned into grain, which can be turned into flour, which can be turned into bread. So that will be another source of food. Flax can be turned into linen, and barley can be turned into malt, which can be turned into another thing, which can then be turned into ale, or I think it's just malt into ale. Whatever it is, they all turn into something, so we kind of need 3 fields. We need 3 separate farms, is kind of what I'm getting at. And farms require tools. So I kind of have some options to weigh up here in terms of how we go about this, because there is another way that we could potentially get around the issue of needing another type of food in here. And that would be by upgrading some of these guys with vegetable gardens, but that consumes tools as well. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to head out this way. I'm going to go to mining, and I'm going to get myself a mining pit. And the mining pit can basically just live. I don't know if it needs to be placed on the deposit or if it needs to be placed near the deposit. It doesn't necessarily say if it needs to be on the deposit or not, but I guess I will just place it. I mean, it really doesn't say if it needs to be on the deposit. I'm going to place it sort of on the deposit. So we'll go ahead and just put this guy, I guess, right about here. I think is going to be a fantastic little spot for it. So right there, and we can go and connect it to the roads as well. We have a road connection here that can sort of, just go down this hill a little bit. It can go through these trees all nice-like and connect to the road right there. And we have a road connection on this side that could probably just head sort of through all of these trees over towards the road that connects us to the forager, although it should probably head in this direction since that's sort of towards our storage. And then what I'd like to do is sort of just connect these guys together, because I think that'd be a great idea. So we'll just do a little road that goes around like that. And I guess we could do a little road that sort of goes around these in general, right? We could just do, I don't know, something like this. That's maybe a little bit messy looking, but something kind of like that. And then, maybe one that sort of goes down in this direction as well. Maybe back a little bit to like here. So we have that road. And then I guess one that kind of goes around in this direction as well. So that'll give us some roads that surround this space. This actually only needs one piece of timber to be constructed, and it looks like it probably should be placed on the mining spot, but that's fine. It's partially on there. So we'll go ahead and prioritize this to get it done nice and quickly. And then as soon as this is done, I mean, there's not going to be anyone to work here, but that's okay. It's something that we can work towards. Now for the other buildings, we need to go into industry, and we need to get ourselves a bloomery, which is going to consume 2 timber to then convert iron ore into iron slabs. And I would assume, actually, now that I think about it, should I build some storage out here? I almost feel like building a storehouse out here would be a really good idea, because what I can do is essentially, build a storehouse here, right? I can then go to industry and I can say, give me a bloomery right about, say, there. And I mean, do you have a radius you work within? Not really. That's fine. Anyone that's idle can work here for now, but my thinking is we can set a work radius on something like a storehouse. I can change the work area. So I can just say that this storehouse is only going to work in this area. So it's only going to be used for the mining pit and for the bloomery. That seems like a pretty good idea to me. And then a smithy. I mean, a smithy is going to use iron slabs and fuel to craft tools. So, I mean, this thing, it can go sort of down here for 1. It also only needs, 2 timber to be built? So we can absolutely build a smithy right there. It's going to be a lot of workers. That's kind of the only drawback of this, is that it is going to need, 1, 2, 3, 4 more workers. And then the whole point of this is that we're going to get more food. So we'll see how well this necessarily goes. But I think this would be good. I think having tools production in sort of the one space is a good idea. And to be honest, the firewood isn't all that far away from where this guy is going to be needing it. So this is actually a pretty good little spot for this. I'm quite happy about that. And we'll just leave it be for now, because that was thing number 1 that we need. We need the tools. And now that we're doing that, honestly, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to upgrade you with a vegetable garden. So you guys can go ahead and start building a vegetable garden that will provide vegetables and then give us another source of food. And that'll keep people happy. Although I think, is construction done on this, or is that something they're working on? I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We'll go ahead and speed things up though and just see what's happening. And there really is a lot of timber sitting around there. That is kind of wild, and I do kind of appreciate it. So that's good. We have that going for us. Now, what are you doing? What path are you taking? Oh, interesting that you're sort of going that way. Would it be nice if you sort of took this road, or, the road that goes down and around there, but I guess that's fair enough. I might need to connect a road through those trees that comes straight out here, I guess. So let's do that just so they're a little bit faster. We can hopefully cut right through there, and we absolutely can. So we'll do, I don't know, let's see if I can sort of cut around these trees in a way that sort of makes sense, which I think that sort of does. And we'll just connect to right about there, I think. Should be pretty good, and that looks okay. This is a bit of a mess of roads, to be quite honest, but yeah, that's probably fine. Now, when it comes to the storehouse, like I said, I want the work area to essentially be right about here. So that's going to give us a very limited work area on this storehouse, meaning it's only going to pick things up from that space, which is good. That's kind of what we're looking for. Looking at our supplies as well, we have 6 months of food, 9 months of fuel. Not too bad. We can hopefully, and we are seeing this vegetable plot getting used, so that's nice. And then this guy is going to get built as well. Let's make the bloomery a bit of a priority. Let's make the smithy a bit of a priority as well. It doesn't really matter if they're priorities or not, but we'll make them priorities just because I can. And then I guess what we should do is, I guess we should probably just get more burgage plots. I don't want to get the market yet. I don't think we need the market yet. We need the ability to supply the market with things, right? We want the different types of food. We want the different types of clothing. So I guess what the next step really is going to be is a tannery. We can convert pelts into leather. And now, where is leather, or where are the pelts stored? Pelts are stored here at the storehouse. So I feel like putting a tannery next to or behind this storehouse is not a terrible idea. So we could go and essentially just place it right about there. And I do like that as a spot for it, because I can bring this road sort of, you know, straight out like this for one. But I can also bring a road sort of straight down here. And that gives us a nice little space. I could bring a road sort of back and behind these houses as well, if I really wanted to. And we can make like a little city block at some point, which would be kind of stupid, but it'd be kind of fun as well. But that's good. That seems like a reasonable, if not a little bit too straight of a connection to the tannery, which is going to provide people with a type of clothing option. When it comes to faith, I mean, that's essentially just going to be a church, which is 8 timber. We have 18. So, I mean, I guess we build it on a hill. I think that'd be kind of cool. We could build it on a cliff if we really wanted to, which might be kind of excessive and a little bit extra, but I mean, it would be kind of cool as well. I think a church right here would be such a cool looking thing. So I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to build the church here. So that's 100% what I'm going to do. Although, would it look better facing that way? I don't really know. I don't know if I really care what way it faces, to be quite honest. I think building it here is going to be just chaotic enough. So yeah, we're going to build a church right there. And somehow I'm going to get some roads that connect to this thing. I'm not really too sure how I'm going to do this, but we can probably figure it out. Now, oh, that is a very steep hill. That is a very, very steep hill. Good Lord. All right, let's up the curvature a little bit on this road and just see what we can do. We'll sort of bring the road around through the trees. Nothing too crazy. Sort of bring it down this way. And that's apparently too steep, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. That is still too steep. Oh, man. I don't know if this is actually going to be possible. I'm kind of hoping it is, because if it isn't, I'm going to be really, really sad. But, oh, no, it does look like... Oh, I can weave it back and forth. That's kind of perfect. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love it. There we go. So that's going to be our road that leads to church. Just right up the hill. I don't know if anyone's going to actually follow that road, but that's kind of perfect. And it overlooks everything. It's going to look so good up there. Oh, that is going to look so good up there. And it is going to provide faith to everybody. So that'll keep them nice and happy as well. Oh, I love that. I'm actually really, really pleased about that. I also realized the game's been running a little bit, well, not slow, but it's been at normal speed this entire time. So we can go ahead and speed things up times 16 down there in the bottom right. And we can get the bloomery going. We can hopefully get the smithy going as well. And then eventually we're going to get the church going, which that's going to be a hell of a construction project. I would not want to go up this hill moving construction materials. I really wouldn't. This is the type of hill that your grandparents tell you about. Like, you know, when you'd sit down and you'd be like, oh man, I really don't feel like going out in the rain today. And your grandparents would sit there and be like, well, when I was your age, I walked through snow that was up to my knee for 2 miles to get to work, or to get to school and work. I was 9. I was working and going to school at the same time. I was working in the school. Snow was up to my knee. And then when I would get out of school, it'd be raining. The rain would be going sideways, and it would be coming at you as you were walking home. The rain was never going with you, so it was never, you know, pleasant. It was always coming at you. It was always right in your face. That is, if you know, you know, is all I'm really going to say on that. That was the type of story I've heard so many times. I heard it so many times from my dad, and I still hear it occasionally from my gran as well. So that's you know the type of story I'm talking about. That's what this hill is. You know what I mean? That's what this type of path is. You're gonna get someone, you know, one day in Lohendorf here that's like, I don't really feel like going to church. I don't want to go up the hill today. And then, you know, there's gonna be some old timer sitting in the corner going, well, I built that church and I had to go up that hill every single day.
in the pouring rain and in the snow with an ox. And I would do it every single day to build that damn church. So you get out of bed and you get up there and you go to church.
I don't know why they suddenly went. I don't know. I don't know where the voice came from there. I'm going to be quite honest with you, but sure. That's that's fine. Now, fortunately, we have all of this stuff built. So the church is actually being built now as well. Which, oh, there's a bit of a frame rate drop. Which is very cool. It's actually really cool seeing all these people up here. That's really cool. This thing is going to take forever, though. There's a lot of materials that have to come up here. So yeah, this thing is 100% going to take some time, but I'm not really too worried about that. Looking into our supplies at the moment, we have food for 6 months. That includes 137 meat, 78 berries, and 5 bread. That's a little bit worrying. I've got to be honest. That's a little bit worrying. That doesn't seem like much. It also seems like we are mostly getting through the berries that are out here, so one more forager might be an idea. But I really think going into farming is kind of what we need to do. So if we look at farming, I feel like we get a field. I feel like we get a farm, although we need tools to do that, so that's going to be the tricky part. That is going to be the tricky part. Okay. I'm going to take a risk. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to do something that's potentially going to be a really bad idea. But I'm going to build another however many burgage plots so we can get into this space. That's going to be 3 of them. That's not too bad. If I go for this size, they can all still be upgraded. So, yeah, I'm going to go for another 3 burgage plots. And in doing this, my hope is that we can get someone working in the mining pit, someone working in the bloomery, and someone working in the smithy. So essentially we'll say 1 person there, 1 person there, and 1 person there. And that will then start the chain of events that lead to us getting new tools. And as we get new tools, I can then go to all of these houses and say every single one of you is getting a vegetable patch. Every single one of you is going to grow your own vegetables. So hopefully that works out. Although admittedly, we still need to build the church, which is going to take a little while. So I'm actually going to prioritize the burgage plots over the church because they are right here where the church is up the massive hill. So everybody can go and work on getting these guys built and getting new people into the town. We also have a full storehouse with generic things. A lot of that is actually firewood and pelts, which is not the worst thing to have an excess of. That's really not the worst thing in the world. I do wonder if I added another worker, does that increase storage? I don't actually know if it does. But that's not bad. That is not a bad situation to be in. Oh, we also need someone to work in the tannery. Although I guess that's also not necessarily a priority because essentially what we really need are people to start the tools production so we can start more vegetable growth. So we'll focus on this for now, and we should and we do have a new family coming in. So where did they go work? Not in the mining pits. They went to work in the bloomery. Okay, so we're gonna need the other burgage plots to be finished before this entire thing gets up and going, which is fair enough. It's, you know, it's just the way things are. We've got the timber coming over, and what are these guys actually doing? So going inside, waiting. I almost wonder if these guys are not necessarily going to chop down any more trees because they've kind of chopped them down in the immediate area. That would kind of make sense. Yeah, this one's they're constructing, which means they're actually idle. So if I go to set work area on this, and I say that I want the work area to be a little bit bigger, can I say that this is essentially going to be their work area? Are they going to go? Ah, there they go. So yes, they're going to go out and start chopping down more trees, which means construction can continue. And we also have these burgage plots done, which means we have the families coming in, which means all of this is now working. This guy is mining up some iron. This guy is, I assume, turning the iron into iron slabs. And then this guy, hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, is going to turn the iron slabs into tools. Although he does need fuel for it, so there we go. We have some fuel in there, so hopefully we have tools. Okay, so now that this production's going, I can go to all of these guys and say, you are getting a vegetable garden. And then we can go to these guys and say, you are getting a vegetable garden. And we can go to these guys, because I think hopefully in a second we're going to get another tool, and say eventually that they are also going to get a vegetable garden. And so by doing that, hopefully we're going to actually introduce more vegetables into people's diets so that they aren't going to be sitting there starving. They aren't going to need to go to the market as much. They can grow their own food. And that's good. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now that that production line is going, I feel like I feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more relaxed about expanding things further. So I guess we really should look into farms, right? Or we could look into the market. We do have this space here, which might actually be quite nice for a little market. It's not necessarily central, but it's close to our storage, and I feel like that's probably fairly valid for a market location. Or we could build it in here, kind of around the well. That would be a nice place for it if we take a little bit of a look at a market area. Can I build it across the well? I think I can. Yeah, I can build the market across the well, which is pretty cool. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. We'll build the market right there, which is now this space. I also want to move the hitching post. I'll be honest, I think I can only build one of those at a time, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. Hitching post, yeah, limit reached. So let's relocate the hitching post, and we'll put it sort of in this little corner here. That seems like a much better place for it. And then what I can do is go to construction. I can go to village life. I can go to burgage plot, and we can say, I guess, all of that space for a couple more houses. That doesn't seem too bad. I think we can get away with that. We'll go ahead and build 2 more of them in there around the market. And we have a new message. This ought to be interesting. Oh boy. To the region of Lohendorf. Wait, the king demands. Oh, I feel like this should be in a voice. To the region of Lohendorf. You are hereby on a mission of debt for the lands on which the royal crown has granted stewardship to the Honourable Greg. A tax is to be levied upon the land to be paid in precious wealth of labour. Failure to submit payment will find the lands forfeit the governance under the stewards and return to crown. You got 365 days to pay the upcoming royal tax. Alright, well, I have no idea how to do that. We need to build a tax collector to increase the treasury. If we go to administration and military, the tax collector is locked. We need to be a medium village in order to get this. We are currently a medium village, which is fair enough. And I still can't build it, so, I mean, not really the end of the world. Not super stressed about it, only mildly. And I guess what we do here, now that we have this market area, is we can actually go into village life and build things like the food stall, the firewood stall, and the clothing stall. And these guys will, I guess, provide, I don't know, a better connection to everything, right? It gives us more convenience for things like food and firewood and all of that. So we'll go ahead and put a little firewood stall right there. And we'll get the clothing stall and we'll put it sort of right here as well. So those are all going to be along the road. And that seems pretty good. We'll have a couple of burgage plots down next to it as well. These guys have a bunch of vegetables, and vegetables are actually doing okay for us, which is lovely. We also have a lot of tools. So actually, I am just going to upgrade like all of these guys with vegetable plots. Because at the minute, I don't necessarily see any reason not to. They don't provide a yield during winter, but this should, I would imagine, present us with a situation wherein we are able to just grow a massive amount of vegetables. So that seems good. Looking at it, we actually have dealt with a faith thing, which means the church is done, and it does look really good up there. We still need to deal with clothing, which, honestly, if we get someone working in the tannery, which we can do once these plots down here get built, we will be able to start selling some leather from the market. And then in terms of entertainment, we need to be growing barley. So we do, essentially, need to get a farm. Or we can go and get a trading post and hopefully buy some booze. But I'd rather produce it myself. So that's kind of the thinking here. Although I also kind of want to build burgage plots right down into this little curve right here, because I think that would look really good. And then in terms of supplies, we have 4 months of food right now. Oh, that's a bit rough. I don't know how I feel about only having 4 months of food right now. Oh no, we're up to 5. Okay. So that's not too bad. Let's, I guess, upgrade you for some vegetable plots, and I'm just gonna upgrade all of them. I'm just gonna make sure everyone can grow their own vegetables, which I'm pretty sure having them do this does take a little bit of time away from their jobs, but at least they're hopefully not gonna starve to death, right? We're now growing a bunch of vegetables, and that should stop them from just keeling over because they have nothing to eat. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to take a risk now, and I am going to build another few burgage plots, and I do want them to just follow the curvature of this road, and that is not enough resources, but that is space for 4 of them, which is very exciting. I don't mind that. I need 8 timber in order to do that, though, which I don't have. I only have 3, and that does make me wonder, are these guys working? No, they're waiting. Okay, let's set another work area. We'll go ahead and set it sort of here. And then looking at it, they are still waiting around. This guy's constructing. And this guy's going inside. Okay. Do we maybe need someone to be dedicated to work at the hitching post? Because I'm wondering if that's kind of where we're at. Maybe we need someone to go out and get some of the timber and bring it back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, we have the ox going up here. Looks like the ox is actually going out and grabbing some timber. So that's good. That'll be 4 timber that we have now. And these guys are, yeah, going to fell a tree. So we do, I think, need someone to be, you know, working at the hitching post. You can go ahead and get some some vegetable patches as well. And then looking at food, we have, yeah, we have some sitting around. It is going down though, I feel. Just the amount of food. We're down to 3 months of supply, which is a little bit concerning. Suddenly, I don't know that I want to build more plots in there. Doesn't necessarily seem like the greatest idea. We also happen to need to have people working at the market. So we'll go ahead and enable the stalls, and we'll let people work here. I didn't want to click you, I wanted to click on the stall. We'll let people work here if they're idle. And now if I click on you, we can see that we have got one of the, we have both of the food things done. We have one of the clothing things done. We need another source of clothing, and we need a source of entertainment. So, oh man. That other source of clothing is, it kind of has to be sheep, essentially, right? So if I go to farming, we can get a sheep farm, but we need to import the sheep via the livestock trader, which is trade, and it's this. It costs 2 timber for a livestock trader. Can I put it in here? No. That's a little bit unfortunate. Should we, thinking about it, we should get a forester's hut. Foresters plant new trees. It seems like it would be a really good idea to get a forester. So let's get a forester. Let's make that a priority, because I think we actually really do need to plant some trees around here so that my logging camp guys don't need to go too far. So we'll get that going. We can also go in, I guess, and trading post is 4 timber. This is 2. We might as well get both. I feel like actually having a trading post could be quite beneficial. So let's, I don't really know where to put this thing, to be quite honest. Here seems like a good spot. Actually, right back here seems like a decent little spot for it. So the trading post can go there, and the livestock trading post can go right next to it. So we have a lot of important buildings in this space now, but I'm okay with that. We'll speed things up, we'll let them work on it, and that'll be beautiful. We are at least alive, right? I think that's the important takeaway right now, is we are alive. We have got supplies to last us 3 months for food at least, and 13 months for fuel. And I guess the food situation is the one that I'm most concerned about, because 3 months of food really doesn't feel like that much. And I mean, the foragers, I mean, they're not really doing anything right now. So yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm definitely a little concerned. This guy's work area, I guess we should specify that. I kind of want this guy's work area to be... I want to say that amount of space. So right about there is where I want the forester to work. Not that we have a forester right now, but when we do, that'd be kind of nice. Now let's see, traveling traders. I don't necessarily... Am I selling this or am I buying this? It's a little difficult to know what I'm doing there. I'm not really... Oh god. Oh god. I don't want to trade anything right now. I don't know how that works. I'm not interested right now. When it comes to livestock though, I would kind of like to trade sheep. I feel like we need some sheep. And I mean, to get the sheep, I have nothing in the treasury. Oh boy, how do I... Oh no. I have to sell things, don't I? That's what I'm gonna have to do here, is I'm gonna have to sell things. Oh god, okay. Let's export tools, I guess? And my target is gonna be 10? I don't know if the target here is sell 10 or if the target is have a stock of 10, but regardless, we'll do that. Traveling traders, these workers will travel to the nearest trade point to fulfill set inventory targets. Okay, so we'll do that. Oh god, I have no idea. We'll get someone in here as well. We are getting low on food now, which is really worrying. We have food for 2 months. Meat and berries are not necessarily keeping us going, so I'm starting to think that we really do need to look into a farm. So I'm going to pause the game, and I'm going to go to farming. And we're going to get ourselves a farm building. And I think the farm itself can probably go over here. I think this is a good amount of space for it. So we'll get a farm here. And then the actual farm field is going to have to go, I guess, something like this. Now, this is actually going to be a really huge field if I'm not careful. So let's go for something kind of reasonable. I don't want to be too ridiculously huge with this. I just want something that's going to give us something. So I think that, maybe even smaller than that, is kind of the way to go. Let's start here, go to there. Actually, let's not go to there. Let's, oh man. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Bring you up there, I guess. And bring this guy to about there. That's probably fine. So that'll be our field. And then this has to be a priority. We really need this farm to be built. Obviously, once we come into spring, we can go back to getting the berries, but the berries aren't going to keep us going. I mean, well, actually, vegetables as well. I suppose we'll have those growing as well. So maybe winter is just going to be a bit rough. Maybe now that we're going to have everyone growing vegetables as soon as spring comes around, maybe we'll be okay. We might not be. There's a solid chance that we won't be. But to be fair, I mean, spring is about to kick in. We should any second now start to see the snow melt away. So here's hoping. It is still February. Not really any sign of the snow melting away, I've got to be quite honest with you, but yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll manage. There it goes. Now it's starting to melt away. We'll hopefully be all right. Hopefully, very big hopefully. Low on supplies. Make sure you have enough food and fuel in storage. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that we only have 1 month of food right now. I really, really don't like that. That makes me incredibly, incredibly nervous. But again, as we go into spring, the berries will come back. These guys will start growing their vegetables. So hopefully we'll be okay there. Hopefully we can figure this out. Now, when it comes to the farm, this thing is about to be done. It is now done. Here's what we're going to do. We need to go in and set up a essentially way of doing things here. Now, threshing is the process of turning wheat into grain. The threshing priority needs to be high. We need people doing that. We also need workers in here. I kind of want 2 or 3 of them, but that's whatever. We'll go for 3 and set idle workers. When it comes to the field, we're going to say immediately go in here with... Oh man, I actually... I mean, grain can be used as a type of food. I don't... I feel like we have enough types. So we're going to rotate crops. In the first year, we're going to say, which is this year, I think, we're going to say barley. In the second year, we're going to say flax. And the third year, we're going to fallow the entire thing. So crop rotation can bring back the lost fertility. The fastest way is to keep the field fallow. Crop rotation triggers after a fully completed harvest for active crops and on the first day of spring for fallow fields. So essentially, we're going to do barley 1 year, flax the next, and then nothing the year after. And what we can do with this is eventually turn the barley into... Oh, I don't know if I want to do this. Eventually turn the barley into booze for a tavern, which they need, and eventually turn the flax into linen for clothes, which they need. The problem is we need people for all of this, and we don't necessarily have people for all of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take someone out of the logging camp, and I don't know where that someone just went to work. That's kind of the problem. I don't think we need a trading post to be active right now. We don't need this. We kind of need the farm to be active right now. Same with the forester. So we'll say... I mean, I don't know where this... Oh, probably the market. Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily need people working the market either. I need this guy to go and work on the farm, and now he is. So that's perfect. Now we can go back and turn the market back on. So if there is anyone available, they can go and work at the market, but we have someone working the farm, which means we will hopefully see some barley go out right here. Although thinking about it, oh, do I want barley or do I want to do emmer? Because this can be turned into food. I feel like I actually do feel like that is the better shot. We are low on food. That needs to be the priority. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do food, and we're gonna do flax. So that'll be keeping them alive, and that'll be clothing them, and that'll be good. That's gotta be the priority. It has to be. That has to be how we do this. We have to be smart about it, especially since I can't reload a save. If I mess this up, we're done. So really gotta be careful on this one. I also kind of feel like we do potentially want to expand things a little bit. We might need to get more people. We are up to 5 months of food, thanks to the amount of vegetables sitting around, which is good. The pantries on some of the burgage plots are also getting full, so we do have a lot of vegetables. I guess... Oh, man. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I really... I don't know if I want to expand or not. We kind of need the workers, though. We really do. We need people working in the fields so that we can get the supplies, so we can get the food. We also need to get ourselves a windmill to turn grain into flour. So that's a thing. That's a thing we need. And this thing has a windmill efficiency stat as well. So I don't know where this should go. I guess sort of back here? No, anywhere back here? Up in the hills? It's definitely not efficient up that way. Good lord. It needs to not be surrounded by trees, I think. 92% if I build it right here. That's not bad. What about in here? 86%, 95%. What about against this road? 90%, 89%, 96 right there as well. But that seems that's too far out of the way. I'm going to take the 92% because it's convenient. And so what we'll do is we'll build a windmill right about there. And then go ahead and... Oh, no, I didn't want a second one. Did not want a second one. Let's cancel you. Let's go ahead and connect this guy out to... Well, I guess... Actually, what if I did this? What if we did a little road down here? Oh, that is That's a bit rough looking. But sure, that's probably all right. Connect the windmill straight across like this. And that just gives us somewhere to process grain. Now, obviously, this isn't going to get used anytime soon, but eventually it will. And then the grain has to be turned into bread at a communal oven. So the communal oven, I mean, I don't know where the grain gets stored, but the communal oven can probably just go here, to be quite honest. It can go behind these houses, and that's relatively close to where the flour comes from. So yeah, we'll build a communal oven right there. And do I take the... we need people to work in those. We need people to work in the fields. We need people to work in the windmill and in the communal oven. So we kind of need... we kind of need... Well, actually, I was about to say we need more people. We don't. We don't need more people. Because we have 54 tools right now. We are just constantly making tools. We don't need to constantly make tools. So if I pause the mining pit, and I pause the smithy, and I pause the bloomery, that has freed up 3 workers, and I don't know where they're necessarily working now. They're not in the trading post. They're not in the forester hut. They're not in the livestock post. There's none in the farm either. Are they still assigned? They might still be assigned. I think let's take you guys out of these buildings completely, just to make sure that they're not assigned to anything. And now I'm really wondering where exactly they've gone, because there are definitely people that should be assigned to some things who are certainly not assigned to anything. We'll speed things up a little bit and see what's going on, but I'm a little concerned that the workers who were assigned to these are not assigned to it anymore. That has me kind of worried. Are they assigned to this? I mean, this is being built still. Oh, I know where they went. They went into the market, didn't they? All right, we need to turn all of those off again. And then I've got 3 idle workers. I want, hopefully, these guys to go and work in the fields. So we now have 3 of them working out here, which is great. That'll make this a little bit more efficient. And then we need, well, I guess we kind of need them working here as well, but I kind of need the field to be up and going first. So we'll see how things go. We still have 5 months of food, 9 months of fuel. A lot of that food is the vegetables in the personal storages, though. So little concerned about that. Might not work out too well for us, but at the very least, we have got this field going. And I mean, there's not really any. What are they doing right now? They're plowing it. There's then the growing. There's the crop growth. There's a harvest. Hopefully they can. Here we go. So estimated harvest, 141 days from now, we'll get some crops. Not bad. And that's not bad at all. So we'll let them kind of deal with that. We have got the windmill done. So I'm not going to put anyone to work in that just yet. I don't think there's any point. Because obviously we kind of, well, actually, no. We can go and say idle workers can go there. And we can do the same with this as well. We can have idle workers go to the communal oven. And that should get us a little bit of food there as well. So hopefully, essentially, we can get a whole bunch of wheat from this field and then turn that into bread as we go into winter. That's the goal. That's the hope. I'm also realizing these guys probably need a bit of a bigger work area. So I'm going to sort of assign them to this space just to make sure that they can go out and keep on making all of the firewood so that no one gets cold this winter. And this guy, we can have idle workers go there as well. Looking at this, estimated is 258 in 100 in... What is this? So resources produced 258, days left before harvest 111. Okay. So I kind of get that. That's fine. And it also makes me think that I probably could just attach another field to this and do... We could probably do flax as well. We could kind of do everything with this. Fields, do fields cost anything? That's the real question. They cost nothing, so... What if I was to go and do... Oh man, I don't know how well this is going to go, but... That's 3 corners right there. I could do sort of a weird corner field on this. I absolutely could. That looks a little strange, though. What if I did... I don't know. That's still a weird corner field, isn't it? Okay. I don't love the weird corner field idea, but I might do the weird corner field thing because it's about all I can do. I could do that as well. I don't hate that, actually. It would be kind of odd, but yeah, maybe we do something on this side instead. Let's see what we could do here. If I do, I don't know, something like this. No, that doesn't really work either. All right, so it's gonna have to be from here. I don't think we can go out there. I think that's not quite outside my borders. Wait a minute. I've just realized that the soil fertility. So this is emmer fertility. This is flax fertility. That's barley, and that's rye. So flax is really bad over here. That's interesting. Barley is a bit better up there. That's annoying because I kind of needed flax here. I wasn't really looking at where the fertilities were. So actually, it's a really bad idea for me to put all of my crops in one space, is what this tells me. Although I could probably get away with a little bit of flax up here, to be quite honest. And I guess we could get away with a little bit of barley up there as well. So I think we're going to have to take that chance. Although we also don't necessarily need all of these things right now. That's the other thing to keep in mind, is I don't need all of these items, I just need food. But I'm going to do this, because I can. And I'm going to do this, because I can. And then we can go and say, this is going to have crop rotation. So this one's going to be emmer, flax, and fallow. This one is going to be, I guess, barley and emmer and fallow. And this one can be flax, or this one can be fallow, I guess. And then, flax, perhaps? I don't really know. And, emmer, I suppose. We'll go with that. That should be fine. I don't know if we're necessarily going to see... Oh, we are seeing these fields get worked. Okay. So yeah, we can go ahead and work these. I don't know necessarily how good any of the harvests are going to be there, but at least it is going to be a bit of a harvest. We're also up to 9 months of food supply, thanks to the massive amount of vegetables in all of these burgage plots. So hopefully we see some of those... Hopefully we see some of the... What does it do that? See some of the vegetables get moved down here. We are seeing some of the vegetables get moved into the granary, so that's great news. All right. I mean, I feel okay about this. We actually have 10 months of food supply now, so that's not bad. That actually does have me thinking we could probably expand the population. We can give those guys vegetable plots as well. Although it might be rough doing that just before autumn. Might be a really bad idea. But honestly, there's only one way to know, and I mean, look, it's like I have always said, all right? And I have always said this. This is a saying that goes back generations, all right? This is a saying that is... What does this do? Oh, that's very neat. That's very cool. Okay, we're gonna build this. And it's because of that saying that goes back generations. YOLO. All right, so while those guys get to work on the new burgage plots, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there for this episode as well. We're making progress. I don't really know what else to say on it. We're making progress, and I'm quite happy about that, because in some of the other games of this that I played while I was learning, this is about the time that I died horribly. This is about the time people starved, and that was mostly because I didn't have enough food. So maybe I'm being a little bit too cautious this time, but I would rather be too cautious and have too much food than have everyone starve to death and me get nowhere with Manor Lords. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.